Hi everyone, welcome to Shell Sugar Rush. Welcome back if you've been here before. Today I wanted to share with you this adorable race car themed baby shower cake that I recently did, and some treats to go along with it, some chocolate covered pretzel rods, as well as some adorable chocolate covered Oreos. If you enjoy things like this, stick around and watch me make them. And don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. So let's get into it. I'm starting with 2 vanilla sheet cakes, and I'm just taking off the top just to level out the cake. I'm going to put this first layer bottom side down, and I'm actually going to fill it in with some American buttercream. I like to do all my sheet cakes double layered, just so there's a good proportion of cake to frosting. So I'm just going to finish this generous layer of frosting, and then I will of course level out the top layer, and I'm going to actually turn that upside down on the cake. That way we get that flat side on top. That just gives us a nice flat surface for the base. And I'm just going to give this a nice thin crumb coat all the way around and across the top. Then I'm just going to use my offset spatula here and just make sure everything is nice and smooth. And then we'll pop this in the refrigerator and let it chill for just a few minutes. And our cake is nice and chilled. So now I'm just going to take the cake and just give it a nice generous layer of the frosting on the top and the sides. And again, with my offset spatula, I will just kind of smooth things out, just taking extra care around the corners and making sure I get that, frosting even and get a nice coat all the way around. I like to put a good bit on there just because I know that as I start scraping it down, I'm going to be, taking off some of that. And actually the little white plastic scraper that I'm using is one of my favorites. It came with something that I ordered as just an extra piece I wasn't expecting, and I've actually fallen in love with it. It gives me a nice smooth finish on my cakes. Now here's just a little short clip of me doing some of the chocolate covered Oreos, just to kind of show you how I did those. And I'm going to pop those in the freezer generally for about 6 minutes and pop them out. And I actually made some adorable little baby feet and the letter W for Walker to decorate the Oreos. So now I'm just going to attach all of these to my chocolate covered Oreos, just using a little bit of that melted white chocolate. And I did make these decorations out of fondant, just because that was kind of an easier way to do it. And I did break up the decor and do half and half with the feet and the W, just because I didn't want them all to be the same. But of course I wanted to keep that same color theme going through the entire design. Now I'm just kind of traying them up, and then I'm going to cover them with some plastic wrap and then set them aside and start on the next treat. Yeah, I've already dipped some pretzel rods in some white chocolate, and here I'm just going to drizzle them with the same royal blue chocolate, just again to keep with that same color scheme. And then I'm going to tray these up as well, just like we did with the Oreos, and wrap them in some plastic wrap and set them aside for later, and we'll get back to our cake. So for the sides of the cake, I did decide to do some icing sheets, and I did order these pre-made, so I did have to trim them a little bit, just to size them along the sides. In the past, I have done the checkered look with fondant, and that is really time consuming, so this actually worked out much better. It was much quicker and easier, and of course it gave it just a really nice clean look around the edges. So I was really pleased with how this came out. So once I was done with all of the sides, I took some of the blue buttercream and just put a Welcome Baby Walker message on the top of the cake. And then I started to work with a little fondant to make that racing loop, kind of like what you see with the Hot Wheels cars. I wanted to do something a little different than just putting a road on the cake. So I did the loop out of the blue fondant, and then put the car on, which is a 1991 Mazda Miata, which actually is her favorite vehicle. So I added to that some checkered flags just to kind of finish that look on the top, and then just piped a seashell border around the top of the cake and also around the edges of the bottom of the cake. I felt like this just gave it that nice finishing touch. And as you can see, I did go with a bit of a darker blue, almost a royal blue, just to tie in with the color of the car. And that's the only reason I didn't go with a soft baby blue. And our cake and our treats are complete. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you'll be notified when I upload more cakes in the future. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you next time.